Hello, everyone. Welcome to Truth Tuesday. I am still Sean, and that is Lyco and Lisa. And this is the second half. We had the first half over on Lisa's channel. Ding ding. Round two.
Round two. I think I shared it to where you can share.
Yes. So this is the dude from Germany, which Germany, I mean, their country collapsed. Their government collapsed a couple weeks ago, a month or so ago, and they said that they couldn't have elections. Do you remember why?
Are you talking about Germany or Ukraine?
Germany.
Oh, I don't remember.
They said they couldn't have elections because they didn't have enough paper in the country. So they said there was a paper shortage. That they're not, they're not set up to have this like emergency to collapse the government. So the paper industry in Germany came out and had a press conference and said, "We got plenty of paper in Germany. We have the Black Forest or wherever we get our, we get lumber from anywhere. We have paper." That's not true. So Germany's very, very messed up, which is very sad for me. Because I grew up part of my life there. But this dude is the here we go. Munich Security Conference, the chairman.
I have to push the thing.
After the speech of Vice President Vance on Friday, we have to fear that our common value base is not that common anymore. I'm very grateful to all those European politicians that spoke out and reaffirmed the values and principles that they are defending. No one did this better than President Zelensky. Let me conclude, and this becomes difficult.
You're so brave. Great place support hug.
After the speech.
Hey man, wasn't your dad the Nazi? What? That's a bad joke. It's a poor joke. But odds are, if you're an old German guy like that, your pop was probably involved. It's sad. That dude's the leader of the country, and he's crying because his feelings were hurt. Germany is so messed up. And you know what? This is perfect. We went over on Lisa's channel about how Tom Homan and Governor of New York and Dr. Phil were talking about basically turning everyone into a Karen, but deputizing them to snitch on people. Dr. Phil said, "Hey, maybe that's not a 19-year-old working as a maid in the hotel or lugging sheets, heavy sheets."
But if you see small children, that's not a
19-year-old.
Yes,
maybe that's not a 19-year-old.
Should go back.
He didn't say 16. He said 19, which is very, very different. But you could. I mean, I worked when I was 15. Anyway, that you should call someone and tie up someone's business, tie up someone's hotel.
It didn't say that.
An investigation. Yeah, that's what was he saying?
It didn't say that, and that's not how that happens.
That's exactly what he said. Did he not say that if that's not, then maybe that's not a 19-year-old lugging heavy sheets and towels in that hotel? You should call. That's exactly what he said?
I don't think so. That means there's clearly, if you see a small child, is what he said.
No, play it. You can play it right now. Play it off here.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
This is a private business in America. A hotel. You got maybe not a 19-year-old.
No, that's not.
But what we can do is deputize every New Yorker, deputize every American to become our eyes and ears. Deputize every one of them to start looking and saying, you know what, that child looks forlorn. That child looks like they don't have someone that's shepherding them, caring for them. They're looking over their shoulder constantly, like they're intimidated. We can tell them what to look for and tell them what to do if they're seeing something.
I've been talking about that for a couple months now, because I really truly believe, I agree. I've been, most every speech I give, I said we need to deputize every American help for these kids. Why? Because I think every parent in this nation has that innate ability to recognize when something's not right with a child. I know I do. When you see something just not right, whether you see a child in a workplace that shouldn't be there, or whether you see a child with an adult that there's something just you key on that something isn't right here. And of course, the left says, well, you're going to have 1,000 people call and make reports on innocent people. If one report of 1,000 saves a child, I think it's worth it.
And it's so important, as you said, that deputizing would come with giving people information of what to look for. What are the signs? What are the indicators? Because these children are our neighbors. They're in the household. You may see them in the wintertime with a windbreaker on, not properly dressed. You may see traffic coming through constantly. If we give everyday Americans and New Yorkers the information to look for, they will help us find these young people.
And what is it we're telling them to look for? I mean, for example, if you see young children, and let's say they're not in the sex trade. That's what everybody thinks about first, but a lot of it's slave labor. If you see young children doing work that you think, that child's too young to be doing that work. Even if they're in a hotel and they're dragging big bundles of sheets and laundry, and you go, wow, that doesn't look right. That child shouldn't be doing that kind of work. It doesn't look right. It's probably not right. That's probably not just a young 19-year-old or whatever. Then what should they do?
There.
Yeah, that's probably
yeah,
not
it's all
a young 19-year-old. So he's saying,
and you know what? This makes me even more mad, because you put this together with the crying German official. If I saw a kid looking over his shoulder and was scared and there was forlorn, I'm not going to call ICE. I'm going to go to the kid and I'm going to say, hey, are you okay? What are you looking over your shoulder for? Are you all right? That is community. That is what an American should do. That is what a parent would do. What's wrong? Are you okay? That's it. Not, there's black people having a barbecue. There's a kid working in this hotel and he's short. No. You're gonna go over. You okay? If you need anything, let me know. What's wrong? That is what an American.
Kids that are really being trafficked are afraid that if they told anybody or said anything, that they're, oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
That their parents would be killed or whatever. Like kids are not going to just confide, to some stranger that walks up to them and says, oh, hey, are you all right? When they're living in a seriously abusive relationship situation, not even relationship situation. Like, I understand your concerns of the brown shirt and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I also think
kids don't confide in a stranger. They're even more scared of a uniform and a gun. And
not necessarily. It depends on how they were raised. Yeah.
We're talking about those kind of kids being raised in that situation. Those kids are definitely trained. If they're trained to don't talk to the stranger, they're definitely trained to run from the officer. But I think it doesn't promote community. It doesn't promote coming together, which we are doing. The thing about Daytona with Trump flying over it and then being there, that's like, it's crazy that it's crazy. It's crazy that he was the first president to ever go to a Super Bowl. Kids don't need to be scared of the uniforms. The people in the uniforms will be enlisted to intervene, whether the child can intervene for themselves or not. That's the point. Enlisted to intervene. Yes, that is not what America is about, though. We have to admit that. That is not the America that that we have for liberty and freedom, that is literal fascism. That is. Just like Antifa is not anti-fascist.
So you think if you see a kid in danger, everybody should just mind their own business?
Now you sound like the crazy liberals who are like, just let the drag queens go and
I
read
didn't
it.
say
You do.
let some adult pervert.
Do you think I think that? Do you think I think that? Do you think that's what I'm saying? No, but I'm saying in you yourself said, I don't see the point in deputizing.
I
And now-
don't.
and
I
now-
think that's an
now
overstep.
you've just agreed with uniforms. You've moved further into the deputization, and now people
I
in
think that what the
uniforms will be
positive part of
enlisted.
that was educating people on looking for children.
Yeah,
or
but
being
right now,
aware
what
of
you
what
just
is a
you
child
just
in
said, but
danger.
hold on, what you just said to me was, oh, so you're okay with not saying anything? We see people in uniforms will be enlisted.
I
and
didn't
then
say
you
anything
and
about the uniforms. I
that's
said
when you said
you.
that's when you said
You're
to
saying
me
that no one.
that's
that
when you
people
said to
should
me,
just-
oh, so you think everyone can? That is
Yes,
such
that
a
is what I
lib-
said
that
to
is
you.
such a left answer to when I said this was wrong. That is where we're going.
Okay.
That's where
Well,
we're
I'd
headed.
love to have a respectful conversation with you, but that's not where we're going. So, like, I'm trying to understand and unpack. I understand your concern about
America, yeah,
deputizing being a fear, but I
yeah,
do
don't
not
say
think it's
that
wrong
and then say to me,
educate
don't say to
people
me, oh, so you think
about
it's okay for
reporting and
not saying
what to look
anything.
for
You know
when
I
a
don't
child
think
is in
that.
danger
You
and to
shouldn't have
report
said
them
that,
for that.
Lisa. You know you shouldn't have said that because you know I don't think that. And
I'll
you
say
know I
whatever
did.
the fuck I want. Yes, I should say
Yeah.
that.
No, why? Did you really think I think that? Or were you just trying to be a smartass?
I'm asking you where your line is. Like, which part of it is
Did
wrong
you
to you?
really answer my question? Do you really think
I'm
I'm
answering
wrong?
your question. I'm not going to have you talk down to me like
I'm
this.
not talking down to you.
Yes, you are. You're
No,
belittling me, and
I'm
I've
not
had enough.
belittling you at all.
Okay. Have a
America
great
isn't what
time.
America was, though.
You can
You have
say
no
whatever you'd like.
initiative. Morons are running around. Yes, I agree. But that's it. We let that happen. Now Lisa's mad. I'm not trashing Lisa. She shouldn't have said that. She said, oh, so you just think it's okay if you see a child in danger and you just don't report or say anything? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I don't think that. Of course not. And she knows I don't think that. So that was disrespectful for her to say that to me. I think it was disrespectful because there's no way it would say that. And this is what I'm talking about, how we're moving in this direction where we've won. We're exposing all of these terrible things that have been happening and going on. But we're doing it in ways that are wrong. It was wrong for the left to do it. It's wrong for the right to do it, but it's necessary. I'm not saying it's not necessary. It's understandable. The left went after the right first and went after their political opponents. They crushed. They tried to crush Trump in every way they could. They used lawfare. It's a new term, lawfare. There was a new term brought out, to create this lawfare to be used against their political opponents. Not really new, but it was used before in really bad situations. And that's what lines are for, because once they're crossed, they can't be uncrossed. Once the mirror, the plate, or whatever is broken, you can't put it back together. And that's where we're at. When the right, when the conservatives, when they won and came back into power, they had to make the decision, oh, we're going to go back to being like you said, it literally is not the America that it was. And we can't really go back to that until we tear it down and rebuild it into something that it should be. I am going to text her, Jim. So that's what has to be done. There, I tested her. But we can't admit or act like it's not bad, or that we're not doing the same thing. You could say we're forced to do it, which I would completely agree with, because we are. Hey, Coffee Stocks. Good to see you. We are forced to do this. It is, but it's a bad situation, and we have to acknowledge that it's a bad situation, but acknowledge the reason why. And it started with Obama, and then moved on to Trump. It was, hey, that's wrong. And then it's, oh, well, Obama did this. Hey, that's wrong. Well, Bush did this. Hey, that's wrong. Well, Trump did this. That was the argument. Not that it's, and it should have always been, yeah, you're right, that's wrong. That was the difference. That's how we turned into this galvanized two-side. If you have two sides, eventually they fight and you have a war. That's what I'm saying. That's where we're moving. If we don't, and I think a lot of people that were asleep, a lot of people that didn't want to see those things have woke up. That's why things move. That's why the movement of where we're at happened. Yeah, like everyone knows that. But the point is, it's wrong to bomb the countries, not who did it. Like, oh, it's okay for Bush because Obama did more. No, it's not cool to. I think Obama bombed it on U.S. soil. So there's that's the whole thing. We can't be doing that anymore, where it's okay for us to do this because your guy did it. We have to be Americans. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's like, well, I mean, look at the war. They want to continue the war in Ukraine for stupid, selfish reasons. And the actual argument that the United States is giving is, well, we want people to stop dying. That's it. We want people to stop dying. And people are not happy about that. That makes no sense whatsoever. There's certain arguments that are not, that should not be party divisive, yet they are. And that makes no sense. That's like destroying us as humanity. But that is where we're at. We have to admit, and you can admit it, and then say it's necessary. You know, you can say that the Department of Justice going after all of these political rivals that went after Trump is targeted. They're not going after other people. They're not looking into the Kerry Lake situation or any of that stuff. But it's necessary because it's the other people did wrong first. And two wrongs don't make a right. It's one of the. It is, but if you do a wrong, you're going to have to pay the consequences. And I think that's what we're doing now. Is we're consequences are being handed out. In the way that they're being handed out, we have to admit it's in, and look, we have to be more open. Like if you're looking at Tom Holman saying these things, and Garland and Dr. Phil, if you pictured, Pelosi, AOC, Maxine Waters saying those things, or Hillary, it would make your skin crawl. You would be horrified to hear about them talking about, call this number and we'll send, government agents over to check that business out and blah, blah. We would be up in arms. The Ukraine war could have been avoided, of course. NATO pushed in, but it could have been ended, and Boris Yeltsin told them to stop. That's the thing. I think that's one of the reasons why I said earlier I may have said it over on the first half or on Lisa's channel that I think it was they literally just used their people as pawns to get more money, to funnel more money through the country. I mean, they've lost $100 billion. Maybe it would have only been 50 if it would have, peace would have happened a year or so ago. Whenever Russia was talking to them about peace, and Yeltsin stopped it. Also, I want to talk about the U.S. Hockey game. How that is real community. That is us coming together as a country. If you don't know, the U.S. hockey team, Team USA, played Team Canada, which is, like, I grew up north when I was a little kid, and hockey is a big deal up there. But it's huge in Canada. It's like, the sport. And when the national anthem got sung for the United States, everyone booed the national anthem in the United States and the American hockey team, which was rude, but it's hockey. Okay. But within the first 9 seconds, there were 3 fights. And America beat the crap out of the Canadians and the Canadian team. It won, it was 3-1 or 3-0. It was 3-1. But they were relentlessly physical in the game. I mean, it was hardcore hockey. There was no way Canada could keep up with the physicality of it, because there was a lot of real emotion and anger that they would be it was disrespectful, and it was wrong, rude to do. But afterwards, they were just like, hey, we really didn't like that. They didn't talk trash. There wasn't a lot of cursing. It was more of a coming together and having pride in your country and in your fellow countrymen than there was. And it wasn't like we hate Canada kind of thing. It was like you talk shit about us, so we provide. Thanks, Cottage Stocks. Which that's we talk about all the time that governments are not the people, and we can say that when we're talking about Iran or other people, but it's the same for all of us, man. I mean, I have friends that their families are like friends with the Trudeaus and hang out with them, and they are, well, one side of them don't really, they're definitely on the same page as far as freedom and everything goes. But I don't like fault them for what their government does or what their government says. They're freedom loving people. They were mad about the truckers and the how they were debanked. They know what's going on. So, but it's goes back to the same thing. It's getting people angry at each other so that they lash out, and they're angry at each other instead of the government or people that we have that they don't even know you exist. So we're in a crazy place, crazy situation, and everyone's touchy. Everyone is touchy, and on edge. So definitely don't boo your Don't boo your opposing team. It's just rude. But I thought it was handled well by Well, 75. It's the same with, I think, everyone. I think someone said that in chat, like the average IQ is like 90. or something in the United States. I mean, that's by design, you know. Government schools and everything else. It's all indoctrination. It's all people are bred on the planet to be good tax slaves, you know, to listen to the government and not question. I think that's been part of the thing of waking up, is realizing that they're controlling you. We talked about at the beginning in Germany that if you make fun of a politician online, you can get arrested and fined. I mean, like $4,000 or more for calling. One guy called the politician an idiot, not like anything super bad, just like he's an idiot. And I think he was fined like 3,700 euros, so it's like $4,000. It's so obvious and so blatant. I don't know why most people don't see it. The only explanation is that 75% of people have been trained to not look. Yeah. And that's what they got, man. That's what they got. They do have obedient workers. True. Oh, and I do want to hit the thing. I wish Lisa was here. She hadn't heard. But Elon, they're talking about auditing the Fed. Elon is pulling a Geraldo. If you're old enough to remember when Geraldo opened Al Capone's vault live on TV, and it was empty. It was a big letdown. It was like hyped up. It was a really big deal. And there was nothing in it, which hopefully doesn't happen, because Elon is wanting to audit Fort Knox and stream it, live stream auditing Fort Knox, which will be very, very interesting. However, if he opens it and there's nothing there, that would be real bad. I mean, and we all know it's not as good as it should be. We've been betrayed, and our gold has been sold off for a long time. And other countries like China, Russia, they've been buying it up, man. Buying it up, printing out this worthless paper and buying real assets with it. And then when everybody wakes up, the 75% of people wake up and see that it's just worthless paper, then all the real stuff will be locked away. So, sad note to end on, but we'll end on that. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Love y'all. Appreciate you. Do I have? Oh, I'll end it with what I call the sailor sigh.
Why don't you break this down simply for people like me that don't fully understand it?
Okay.
If you went out the yield curve on bonds, or if you went in.
Sure.
Is constantly growing. It's happening as all of these new companies,
So let's just start at the beginning, if you don't mind explaining, what is it?
Sure.